Yay! We
Oh
did it.
man, wow. That was some technology there.
It feels good to make it happen eventually.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Look, we're both wearing blue, and we didn't even plan that.
Exactly, yeah.
So we connect now. We're connecting. We're good to go. So hi, cheers. Let's take a sip and relax a little bit because yeah, they say that every time there is a big light about to pop up, there's always like a big dark moment trying to interrupt and big light is shining. So let's take it, as our story for this morning. And now it's about, we're allowing the light to show up.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty funny.
How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good. Just working on a few little things prior to the retreat.
So are you already in Miami? Are you close by?
No, no. I'm still up a little bit north, but I'll be down on Saturday.
Yeah, so we're getting ready for that, and we're super excited. It's gonna be the first time we're actually organizing some sort of a boutique retreat here in Miami. And you want to tell us, what we should expect, or just in a few words before we go into more personal details?
Yeah, sure. So, eventually what we're looking to do is really provide a lot of value to people for their health and ways to stay well and ways to stay healthy. And so over the years, I've worked with thousands of people one-on-one with health and health consultations. I have well over 16,000 hours of working one-on-one with people. So you
Wow.
start to see patterns of what are affecting people and what's making them ill. And so my goal of the retreat is to really teach people ways that they can try to avoid these pitfalls of things that can really affect their health in a negative way.
Mm.
And even if they have possibly had any of these situations occur to them or happen over the years, then, we're going to try to provide solutions to allow them to live a very healthy life. So, for example, one of the topics that I get into is detoxification. And so a lot of people, unfortunately, we get exposed to so many different things through the air, through the water, through
Yeah.
our food, and through other different ways that we get exposed to different toxins. And over time, these have an effect on the body, and they can affect how our cells communicate, how our body functions. And with that, I want to give people ways that not only where they can try to avoid different toxicities from the environment and ways to do that, but also even safe ways to help their bodies naturally detoxify. And so when they do that, they can really avoid a lot of issues down the road and some major issues as well. We'll be looking at nutrition and some of the pitfalls that people fall in with that. For example, with minerals, for example. So, unfortunately, due to farming practices and mass production and agriculture with lots of chemicals and pesticides being used, and the minerals have gotten depleted very substantially throughout the world. In some cases, go ahead, sorry.
Before we go into the really details, I
Mhm.
really I want to, people to get to know you
Oh,
and
sure.
and understand also why did you what's your why? Why did you start getting it? What, who is Tom behind the whole uh, hours of healing and helping people heal?
Yeah.
And it's always starting with a personal story. So
Yep.
yeah,
Sure.
so I want to know more about Tom and what brought you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so, you know, growing up, you know, I was always pretty athletic, played a lot of different sports and track and cross country basketball. And always physically, I was, you know, pretty strong or stronger than the average person. And, you know, with that, I had, you know, essentially some feelings of invincibility that I could really do whatever I want. I could eat whatever I want. And, you know, really nothing was going to affect me in any negative way. So, in, you know, my late 20s, I got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And so it was a real wake up call. And it really made me look at my health very in depth. And so I went on basically a journey at that point to learn things to essentially keep myself alive at that point, and learning about nutrition and detoxification, ways that I could help in my lifestyle, in my mind body, as far as, you know, stress and other techniques.
Where did you learn all that? We didn't have Google back in those days, or we did?
No, no, no. Yeah, it was the school of hard knocks is what it was. I had to do some major research through those things called books that people don't see much of lately, and and really have to dig deep. And I had to also meet with different naturopathic doctors, different integrative or functional medicine
So you
doctors. I also
path to heal yourself and understand that the more you can about, you know, what's happening to you, and the more you study, the more you really brought that to your life, and you
yeah. Yeah,
and what,
absolutely.
like, but if you had to you know, knowledge is one thing, but putting it into action, I think that's the most difficult for people,
No,
you know.
no doubt about it, because, you know, it requires change and it requires work. So a lot of people are fearful of change, and that's where, you know, they have to break through those old patterns that weren't serving them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's where the mind body techniques come in, especially things that affect the subconscious mind. And so you can break past those barriers that may be
So
stopping you for whatever
so how did
reason.
you do that? How did you really reach into your subconscious?
I used a lot of different types of techniques. I used things like hypnosis. I've used techniques like recall healing, the emotion code, meditation, a lot of these different things, prayer.
I,
Uh,
I think meditations and prayers are the new medicine,
yeah, yeah,
and
no doubt about it.
and food.
Yeah.
Ro-
And
Raw.
yeah, so I had to really create like learn diversions to old foods that I used to love, but really weren't serving me at that point.
So
You know,
it
at least love the
requires a
taste.
lot of restrictions also, right? It's making you completely change a path and forget everything you used to do until today, and restart into new habits that are,
Yeah,
you know, needs to be acquired into your system. And but it's like starting from zero now again. It's like educating yourself from everything you knew before, forgetting it and starting from you. And that's the change, I think, that is this gap, because
hmm
we're in a loop. It seems like we're in a loop of consuming more and more of the bad habits that
yeah,
actually are killing us, and going into uh, uh, um, adopting new ways of living that can bring us much more to a place of light, and you know, sacred places within ourselves. And I know you wake up early in the morning, right? The little
yeah.
bird told me. So
I do. I
I
do.
know it's a real challenge. So please tell me how to do it. How do you up so early, and tell us about your routine, like your personal routine? What time do you wake up? What do you do when you wake up? Like really,
hmm
I want to know like your little secrets.
Yeah. So, I get up somewhere around, 5:20, 5:15 a.m. in the morning. And from there, most of the time I'll be going to the gym at that point. And so I go to the gym early.
Clock, or you wake up on your own?
No, I do use an alarm. I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you wake up immediately, or it's taking you time and you're nagging it?
No. I get up pretty quickly from that. I also go to bed early too.
What
Um,
time do you go
and
to bed?
Anywhere between 8:30 and 9
What?
p.m.
Oh so you actually follow the sun.
Yeah, so yeah, following the sun in that sense, even though it's still a little dark in the morning, of course, until roughly
Yeah.
about 6:37. But yeah, what I want to do is I want to get that activity going. And I'm also drinking a lot of water in the morning to help my body to cleanse.
Mm.
A lot of times I'll add in electrolytes to my water. My water is highly purified. It's
Mm.
also structured water, so it allows my body to absorb that water better, 3 times better from the research. Um, and sometimes I'll add other nutrients into my water as I feel that I need that day.
So if
Sometimes
I
I'll add,
do drink a lot of water in the morning, but they're not purified as yours, is it still making a difference?
yeah, it'll still make a difference if you're hydrating well in
Okay.
the morning.
Okay.
Um, and so, I'll work out, I'll do a variety of things, cardiovascular, stretching. I'll do some weights, and then I'll normally always do a sauna, an
Sound-
infrared sauna. Yeah, because it's the cleansing is what I want. It's also really good for your immune system, and it's excellent to just really allow the body to start releasing some of those toxins that your body really wants to get rid of, especially overnight, where the
Yeah.
body is trying to heal. Um, and so that starts my day, and
And how
I'll
long
come back.
you had the
How long? Normally an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. I don't like to hang out at the gym all day. I try to just get things done, that I need to do, and then move on. A lot of times too, I'm educating myself as I'm working out. So I may be listening to different integrative conferences because I like to stay very current with information. Or if there's a topic that I feel could be very beneficial to others or myself, then I'll start to get into that. And I really kind of power through that information very quickly. Just for example, I was looking at one that's from a Brave series, a little bit about certain factors that have been going on in the last couple of years. And I went through about 12 modules in about a day and a half, you know. So I just kind of power through the information. I'll listen to it when I can, even, when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm listening to the information. When I'm getting ready in the morning dressing, I'm listening to it. When I'm getting my food going, I'm listening to it. So it's, some of the ways that over the years I've been able to gather knowledge and information.
I'm like the opposite because I really like to wake up in the morning and go into my silence and pray and meditate. And I don't like background noises.
Hmm.
Although at the gym or I'm walking on the beach, I like to always take my podcast, and that gives me a lot of motivation to start my
Yeah.
day. And when I'll be driving and stuff like that, I will always also put something on my podcast. But what do you do as far as quieting the mind, and when does it comes like throughout your day? What?
Normally, after the workout, after I shower, then I'll meditate, and so I'll sometimes use different music to help with that. Sometimes it'll have specific frequencies within the music to create a calming state or a theta state, and then from there is like kind of my quiet time or my manifesting time, and so that's what I utilize to help and just support goals that I have, things that I'd like to do, ways that I like to help.
And that was something that was in your routine before you got sick, or only
No,
after?
no, not at all before. You know, I worked out a lot before, but not early. Normally it was later. And, but no, I didn't do any before
No,
meditation.
per the religion, the Jewish religion, they say that when you wake up early in the morning, that's when all the tzaddikim is the ancient soul, come to your support to really bring you, support you, and give you the wisdom. So the earlier you wake up, the more it is you're in tune with your soul and stuff like. Did you know that?
I didn't know about that. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So, so how? Because I have a few friends that are sick with cancer, and I'm supporting them spiritually.
Hmm.
But what helped you on a personal level going through that, like really, and still today, like preventing it,
Hmm.
and still doing the work every day? Like it requires a lot of discipline.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of discipline, a lot of big changes in what I ate, in how I, you know, worked on my lifestyle. And, you know, with that, I mean, a couple biggies with that, I would say, as far as cancer's concerned, is I started to really work on reducing the acid from my body and in my diet and trying to create a bit more of an alkaline state. And I think that's really a big key. It's a big key, I think, to a lot of chronic diseases.
So give
Um,
us an example for acidity,
yeah,
like.
yeah, sure. So sugars are acidic, um, alcohol is acidic, um, different processed foods are acidic. And so, you know, basically, when they create that acidic state in the body, it gives cancer a greater potential
Mm,
to spread
mm,
because it actually has to, in order for a cancer to spread into another area, it has to have an acid base to break down tissues so that
mhm.
it can spread into the next tissue. And that's where, for cancer specifically, alkalizing becomes very important because it can help to stop spreading of cancer. Um,
Mm.
the other cool thing is you can actually test your pH or the alkalinity of your body very easily, very inexpensively at home, just with the little pH strips. First morning urination, you want to pee on that strip and you want to keep it between 6.4 and 7. When you keep it between 6.4 and 7, then you're creating a good level of alkalinity in your body, and you have that base point of where you're at. So if you're too acidic, you know, you need to still make some changes. Normally, you're not going to get too alkaline. On occasion, it may happen depending on, you know, the condition and how intense you're trying to alkalize.
Is it something we're going to check at the retreat also?
Um, I'm going to give them information on how to do things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
But don't tell all the secrets. We
you
want them
know,
to read.
well, just giving a couple tips for cancer specific. Yeah.
So you
um,
you're like the proof that people can heal from cancer. Did you ever went through chemo and
I
radiations?
did do some chemo, yeah, because back then I was still learning, you know, and if anyone who has a condition, especially like cancer, the amount of pressure put on you from a medical team, sometimes friends and family, to do the conventional therapy is tremendous. And it's, you know, normally in good intentions, of course.
Right.
Um, but, you know, there's a lot of pressure. I actually wanted to go just all natural. And man, I was hit from all angles when I wanted to do that. But you know what? I didn't know a lot back then. I was still very low in the learning. You know, I was learning about what some people did to survive and recover from it. But, you know, now that I think back at that, it may have not have been enough for me because I was such a severe state. You know, I had cancer in my bones, some of my bones, so it was pretty advanced.
Wow.
So, you know, the chemo helped to knock things back, but I still needed the lifestyle and diet and other techniques to allow my body to fully heal. And it took me about a year to fully heal my body from that. But yeah, it's, you know, so, you know, the alkalinity is one thing for cancer specific, but also the nutrition, you know, and the vitamins. You know, a lot of people just aren't getting enough because of the foods these days are very nutrient deficient. Um, and in some cases, the foods, because they have fortified foods or they put in synthetic nutrients, they can literally block the pathways of the natural nutrient to try to get into the cell. So it's like a double whammy. Not only you're not getting it, but it's stopping it from getting into your cells. And so things like vitamin D become a lot more important for people with cancer. And there's a lot of research behind that. It's not only immune supportive, but it blocks different pathways for certain cancers and things. So that becomes a much more important thing. And really anyone that's working with someone with cancer, I mean, the main thing they want to really look at is how am I going to support this person's immune system? And if they're not looking on how to support their immune system, they're really, you know, they're really missing the pitch. You know, they're really missing the ball, because that is the key to really allow them to fully heal. And
So give
yeah,
us three keys to increase our immune system.
three
The
things,
main three,
three
yeah,
things to increase the immune
yes,
system. So,
most
you know,
important.
mm, you know, it's a good question. I mean, I would probably say, you know, really to bump up the immune system, um, I found the product. It's called Immune Response, which has several different nutrients in it together that is to help increase the immunity. In some cases, immune supplement support can bump the immunity by roughly about 27%, depending on what you're using. So that could be significant. I would say number two would
Hold
probably be.
on number one,
Mhm.
supplements, for example. I don't take any supplements because there's so many, there's such a variety that I don't know where to go and what to use and what do I really do. So is that something at the retreat that we're going to actually be able to measure and get answer to?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. We'll be able to get into that
Amazing.
for sure.
Okay.
You know, that's one of my expertise. I've a lot of
Um,
experience with nutrients and what works and what's good and what doesn't work.
but does that require a blood test, or you can just recommend it
Um,
as
you
is?
know, you can, you know, normally I'll do an energy test with people or an energy scan, which will give me an energetic interpretation of how their body is doing with nutrients and other
And you have
things.
a device for that, right? That is super unique, right? It's
Yeah,
called
yeah, the device is really cool. It's called the AO scanner. So
amazing.
it works off of assessing frequency in the body. So different organ systems, other factors in the body have specific frequencies. If there's some type of impedance in that, it can help to pick that up and then create an interpretation of that.
I
Now, it can
can't
also,
myself.
what's that? Sorry.
I can't wait to do it myself already.
Well, on your end, you might even like it more because it will assess things like the chakras and also the energy meridians of the body. And it can even assess the emotions through the voice. And are we still getting volume? What's going on? Hello, hello. What's going on? Can you hear me? Huh. Oh, no. What happened? Don't know. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let me try one thing here. Mm. Mm.
Okay.
Hello?
Oh my God. You know what happened to me? A friend was calling me and I declined the call, so it muted me after live. So sorry.
Ah,
Please, no
no
one
worries.
call me now.
They, yeah, it was one. I didn't know what
Having
was
so
going
much
on.
fun. I was just we were talking about that unique
Oh
device that
yeah,
I.
yeah,
So
the
you're
AO scanner.
saying that I will enjoy it more? Why? Because.
Yeah, so I think you'll enjoy it more because one, it can assess the emotions of the person. So it does that through the voice. So if certain tones are missing in the voice, they will correlate to emotions. And what's neat is it won't
Wow.
only tell you the emotion that comes up, it'll give you some reasons why it's coming up.
Wow.
It'll also give you some solutions to help it. For example, things like color therapy. It will even give you an audio to listen to, which is the tones that we're missing. And so when people listen to that, they can combine it with the color therapy or other things. And they found it really, a lot of the clients I work with, it really helps reduce the stress. And even some people who had sleep issues for years in one session were sleeping better than they had in
Wow.
years.
Amazing. You know how many people I know with sleep issues?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
going back, so that was the first one, supplements. What's the second one?
Yeah, so second one, in my opinion, from over the years, I think it's working on the mind body. So the mind body or the psychology, because if they're in a very high stress state, it's going to really negatively affect the immunity. It'll affect a lot of other things too. And I think that's extremely important to really start to get their immune system on board. And in using some of those therapies that I talked about earlier, that could really be supportive in that, in supporting the immunity.
Okay.
And then,
And
and then three, I would probably look at the dietary aspects, because if they're adding in foods that are affecting and reducing their immunity, or affecting the cancer and making it worse, it's just going to not work at all, and really negatively affect the immunity.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all great tools, and I can't wait to meet with you someday and start the retreat. Um, we're gonna have it's limited in space, so whoever join and register should know that it's super boutique oriented. It has a personal approach. It's on the beach in Miami with the good weather and with a cast of great people behind it, and that are doing great efforts to make it happen. and they should really get the credit because I think that the whole team is super passionate, each from his own point of view, because of our own journey, that in a way each of us managed to heal in his expertise of field. We became some sort of ambassadors, and we want to pass it forward. And this is what it's all about, when it's not only about me and more me, it's also about sharing the knowledge, helping people, support them into their journey. And this is basically what we want to do. We want to spread the knowledge, the wisdom, the light, the love, and allow it. It's also super affordable because you come from, you used to work, I believe, in a super high-end place. That you
Yeah.
want to tell a little bit about Hippocrates?
Yes. So yeah, I used to work at the Hippocrates Health Institute clinic or retreat, I should say that. Essentially, for 10 years, I worked there. I did the health consultations there. I did a lot of the health lectures.
Amazing.
I oversaw the medical team there. I also was involved in a lot of the different research that we did there as well. And so, there I, continued to learn from other top experts and things, and continue to go to other conferences and things to stay at a very high level of information to really support people in their health journeys. Because, we would see people with all types of health conditions. There's stuff that when I worked in the hospitals, I would
For
never.
example, like what types of maladies, like, what cancer, we know. What else?
Yeah, I mean, we would get the whole gamut. So a lot of people with autoimmune disease, a lot of people with diabetes, heart disease, as well as a lot of cancers of different types. And then, Lyme disease.
Wow.
Sometimes people
Lyme.
that had Lyme, yeah. Sometimes people that had different bacterial issues going on. A lot of different gut issues like IBS, Crohn's, colitis, really the whole gamut, diverticulitis.
So you
Um,
that you're like an expert in the field. You research it, you treat people, you bring so much wisdom and knowledge, and your own achievement, and I guess you're able to win a super tough battle, and that says it all. um, and I'm very excited to join this team and be part of masters in the field. I'm myself coming with more of the spirituality aspect, more into working with the soul and believing in yourself and removing all these blockages that are at the end of the day, they're energetic blockages that goes into our body. It's all start, it's body, mind, and soul. These are three levels that the work has to be, it has to come together. You cannot only work on one field. So I'm eager really to show and exhibit all our little gifts. And just, we're gonna wrap it up because I don't want it to be too long, and I don't want to reveal all our secrets. I want people to come and join us in person. But you're actually gonna come down to Miami once a month, and that's gonna be held every Sunday and Monday. So just so people can know, it's not like a fun retreat all day long at the beach and doing yoga and stuff like that. It's the opposite. It's really coming to study, to be there, to experience it, to learn, to put their intention into getting better and getting the knowledge, correct?
yeah, yeah, and getting information and techniques they can take home and so
Amazing.
they can implement it to stay well or to help them their bodies heal.
Amazing. Amazing. So it's going to be Sunday and Monday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
At Sunny Eyes Hotel over there at Marco Polo. And whoever find an interest or want to register should actually reach out to Tom or myself. And we're always here, happy to explain more about it. And not only that, it's allowing us to actually not understanding and experiencing the retreat, but after that, a few days after, you staying local so people can actually spend time one-on-one with you, correct?
Yeah, I can do different health consultations as needed. People that join the retreat do get a consultation as well included, that will included with the AO scanner information that we get from that, which is pretty in depth. They'll see they're very large reports that come from that, and
Wow.
then I can help to guide them a bit based on that and their goals.
Amazing. Amazing. So, Mr. Tom Fisher, thank you very much for your time. I'm glad we managed to do it eventually.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully, spread the conversation to many other people and inspire other people. And I'll see you Sunday morning.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Great. So, Shabbat Shalom. Have a great weekend. Get some rest before. And we'll see you soon. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Bye, Tom. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.